So this is what they do. Trump goes on to Rogan's show and is open to have a 5-hour conversation if that's what it takes, just man to man for everybody to watch. She is not, because she knows she has no ability to defend any of the things that they've done over the last 5-10 years, right? Especially during the pandemic. So this is what they'll do instead. Tell the most destructive, insane lie that anyone could possibly tell going into this election. Now, it's a constant struggle for me not to use hyperbolic language like, this is the blah, blah of all time, or you will never get a yada, yada, yada. I do that all the time, and I try not to. Sometimes I try not to. I am actually going to say that I don't think you will ever get 2 consecutive pieces of data or news stories that better paint the picture for why one candidate is like so absurdly better suited to get your vote than what we're going to go over right now. Okay. 2 stories, one in reaction to the other. All right. Because in case you guys have been living under a rock, the candidate that we support is going on Joe Rogan's podcast on Friday. Okay. 17.5 million subscribers on YouTube, more than 14 million followers on Spotify for JRE. This is probably going to be the most viewed episode of anything ever. And I can't argue with that. That is exactly what that is going to be. Okay. Now, we all know also that Rogan offered the same offer to Kamala Harris. Okay. Keep this in mind, right? Just take every single thing that you know about Kamala Harris and Trump out of your mind and just say this. One person has the biggest platform of all time. That platform consists of him sitting down across the table from another person and having a conversation for as long as it takes to hash out the things that they want to talk about. They're going to speak freely. There's not a bunch of preparation. We're not talking about like a debate on ABC where one side has this and one side has that. We're talking about 2 regular human beings having a conversation. And when you get down to it, everybody's regular, man. Rogan is regular. I am regular. Trump, regular. Kamala, regular. You know, everybody's just a regular person, and you will reveal very, very large portions of yourself when you have a conversation like Joe Rogan, facilitates when you go on that show. And so you have 2 people running for the highest office in the land, the most powerful position you could possibly have in the world. And Rogan offered to bring each of them independently onto his show. One of them agreed, and that's Donald Trump. Okay. The other one decided she's not going to go on. Okay. So right there, just right out of the gate, one of them says yes to that. The other one says no. Now, we are so close to the election that, I would certainly question a lot of decisions that the Kamala Harris campaign has made. They've made some good decisions, made some bad decisions. I think Kamala Harris herself as a candidate is very challenging for them to work with, I would imagine, because she just, I don't know, she's not a great candidate in my opinion. But nonetheless, right, they are smart enough to know what I know, which is that this is probably going to be the most widely watched show like ever made, right? Widely watched episode ever made. Rogan is going to talk to Trump about everything, every single thing. He's got a list that now, when I say Trump is going to be very prepared. I'm sorry, Rogan's going to be very prepared about what he wants to talk to him about. Then they're just going to have a conversation. So bottom line is they need to do something drastic. And this is what they chose. This absurd, disgusting lie that is very likely to incite violence. If you were going to try to get Trump, you know what I mean? If they wanted somebody to take another shot at Trump because this is the only way they're going to win the election is if he's not there, okay? Then this is what you do. You would tell this absurd lie. This is the lie you would tell if you wanted to make sure that all the crazies in the world go rack up and get ready to go try to take a shot at honestly, if anybody believes this is true, you are out of your mind. It's ludicrous. What possible credibility have they built? Anyway, so let's watch what she said because this is absolutely disgusting. All right, so let's watch this. I'll try not to completely flip out and not throw up my lunch on my keyboard. This is a lie. Ready?
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired 4-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because He does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
Okay, first of all, just right out of the gate. Oh, General Kelly, he just told you now. She said they found that out yesterday. Yesterday. Okay? General Kelly was working for Trump in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, right? I'm sorry. 2019. That's 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Oh, you just found this out yesterday? You mean like right at the moment when you decided that you weren't going to go on Rogan, you're like, dude, we needed a nuclear bomb, dude. They're all, well, we know General Kelly's willing to lie. He's the same one that said that Trump went to a military cemetery and said, look at all these losers that got killed in war. You're like, sure, he said that. Yeah. And then he also pulled down his pants and he peed on their graves. Okay. Sure he did, dude. Also, anyway, so yeah, if you believe that, you're an idiot. Let's listen to more of this nonsense.
He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens.
Now that is a little bit broad. Can you be specific on exactly what he said? You know? Like, is that exactly what he said? Or you think maybe, I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. I can only assume that he probably said something like, we would use the American military to, root out like domestic terrorists that plan to blow things up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe anything they say. Literally nothing. There is nothing that could come out of their mouth which starts with, he wants a military that's just like Adolf Hitler. I'm like, okay. And here comes the avalanche of lies. So let's continue.
And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy from within. Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him would qualify in his mind as the enemy within.
Oh, really? Prove it, dude. Hey, prove it. Where did he say that? He said he's going to use the military on anyone who refuses to bend the knee or who criticizes him. Show me that clip, dude. I feel like that clip would be a little bit more compelling than you standing in front of a podium and lying to our faces. This is who you want to be president?
Like judges, like journalists, like nonpartisan election officials. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews.
This is all they have, dude. This is all you have. Your record is indefensible. You don't have any ideas that make any sense for us moving forward. Everything is about change, except you've been in office for 3.5, 4 years. That's why you imploded when Fox News asked you about that. This is it, dude. Okay, Trump says we're going to do this. 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 I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to support that. We're going to do this. We're going to do. Hey, what are you going to do, Kamala? He invoked Adolf Hitler. How can anyone be so fucking blind as to not see what this is? These people locked you in your house for multiple years. They told you this, if this, then that, if this, then that. This is why you need to do this to your kids. That's why you need to do this. And no repercussions whatsoever when it turned out. Like, you better be right. You're going to have us do that. You better be right, dude. And if you're wrong, there should be biblical repercussions for your career. See? Biblical repercussions for your career. I mean, you should not get reelected under any circumstances. That's what I meant. Just to be clear, I didn't mean I wanted us to invoke, Third Reich policies. I just think you should be out of your job. This is all you have. Lies, dude. So if he's, honestly, let me ask you a question. If he's Adolf Hitler, why is Chuck Schumer down to just sit there with him at the Al Smith dinner? You got cooked because you didn't go there. Now the Catholics aren't voting for you. I heard that she went insane on her campaign manager, who recommended that she not do the Al Smith dinner. And guess what? Because he said, oh, you don't want to alienate your LGBTQ plus IA minus sign divided by sign ZZF56 community. Hey, how'd that go for you? You guys starting to figure out that that's not quite as big of a group as you thought it was, and that there's a much bigger group on the other side that's sick of hearing about it?
And hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is.
Who are you? Who are you? Okay? All I hear ever from these people, this guy is the worst. He's terrible. He's terrible. Who are you? What do you represent? What do you support? Who do you care about? What group in this country is supposed to support you? Seriously. Who are you? Who's your base? Who's your base? What do they stand for? What do they have in common with your policies? They all hate Donald Trump. That's it. That is all you got. It's pathetic, dude. It's the most pathetic platform of all time. Because you want to know what happened? He exposed you. And then you guys went all in and you thought you could just pull every string that you've always been pulling, except the people are much smarter than you gave them credit for. Because now the internet exists and people can get information a lot of different places than your one channel that you used to have, okay? Like you thought you could just pull the wool over everybody's eyes, run the same playbook. You don't even pretend to run on policies anymore. All you do is, I hate this guy, hate this guy, we hate this guy, we hate this guy, we hate this guy, we hate this guy. You can only lie to people so many times before they figure you out. And as soon as they figure out you're lying, they're all, oh, you're the bad guy. So then they start listening to the other guy and he's going, here's what we're going to do. Here's our plan. This is what we're going to do. Here's our plan. And they're like, oh, they are disgusting over there. They were lying to me the whole time. This is all you have, dude. The MAGA Republicans are a threat to this democracy. The MAGA Republicans are... It's disgusting, man.
From the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room.
Oh, General Kelly, you mean the person that you guys planted in there specifically to undermine him and then come out and tell you that he's the worst person ever? Oh, these losers who got killed in war. Yeah, right. No one believes you.
And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist.
Oh, is that right? How's that?
Who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas.
Oh, and that's why when he was president for 4 years, he never once did any of that. You guys had to trick a bunch of drunk people to run up into the Capitol building or walk in there in order to make it seem like he had done anything even remotely resembling what you're accusing him of. He never used the military once for any of those things, which, in all honesty, probably should have when you guys took all the things that were doing and started lighting all the cities on fire. If there was going to be a reason to use the military against the citizens, that was it. And he didn't even do it then. I can't, dude. I literally can't. It's so infuriating, the idea that anyone would believe this fucking nonsense. It makes me want to take my microphone and just like bash myself over the head with it, and just so that like maybe I get amnesia and don't have to have this absolute nonsense in my brain. I can't, dude.
Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable.
No, I am. No, that's me actually, listening to you.
Second term, people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails against his propensities and his actions.
Oh, so they admitted then that he was in there to be a guardrail. So he was in there to undermine him. You just admitted it, right? You just admitted it, that's why he was actually there. And then so he's there to undermine him, and then he leaves, and he's like, he was making blah, 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 lie.
Those who once tried to stop him from pursuing his worst impulses would no longer be there. And no longer be there to rein him in. So the bottom line is this. We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want?
Hey, what do you want? I want to be the new puppet that stands there and pretends to do things while the billionaires who run my show make all the calls. And yes, I lied about Joe Biden having his mental faculties when every single person on earth knew that he had dementia and was not running the show. Who's the president right now? Who is running the government? Okay, why did Joe Biden get ousted? Because he has no brain anymore? No offense to him. Honestly, I have nothing against him or Kamala, honestly. You guys are just puppets, and I know it. And you guys deciding to pull this, I mean, not you, but the people behind you pulling this, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. If Trump gets shot, it's your fault. Oh, Trump's inciting violence. Yeah, right. Gaslighting, absolute liars, dude.
Thank you.
I would like to respond with the same 2 words, except replace thank with the F word, okay? Give me a break. Hey, why don't you go on Rogan and tell us what you're going to do? Like, why don't you go on Rogan and talk for an hour? Just talk for an hour, dude. Have a conversation with Rogan for an hour about what you're going to do. Explain yourself. Tell us why we should vote for you. Nope. I'm instead going to go up and talk for 3 minutes without answering a question and just spout more and more lies and compare the other candidate to Adolf Hitler. Fuck you. God, man.